Hey everyone, Caesar from Lightwerkz here. We've got the new D2S 5.0 from Morimoto. That's on the right, and on the left we got the 4.0 from Morimoto. We're going to go over the differences, what to expect. This projector has been just released right now, and we're going to do some Lux readings and some more information about the new unit. So first and foremost, I want to show you this coating that's on the lens, because that's probably the biggest visual change that anybody new to this is going to see. So it's a blue, it's a coating, it's a AR coating on the front of there. AR stands for anti-reflective. And I got the light right on it just to show you that it's actually quite subtle unless the light hits it. It's not super obvious. In the pictures you're going to see this big blue coated lens, but it's really more of an exaggeration. It's not super, it's not really in your face, and it is commonly found on some Chrysler vehicles, Dodge Ram, the Mopar vehicles. They have that effect. Some of the older Cadillacs have it, and some other various vehicles. So it's not totally in the aftermarket only, and you're going to see that kind of coating on eyeglasses and camera lenses and other optics. So it is new. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but that's probably the biggest visual change that you're going to notice from the front. And some things that we're going to get into, some of the improvements that were made have just been based on customer feedback. So what people disliked about the 4.0 is the fact that it had a very large step. The cutoff step was very large and it was abrupt. We'll show you that in a little bit on the wall. The new step is it's a slope cutoff shield, and it's more gradual. The other thing that people didn't like about the 4.0 was the position of the shield in relation to the center of the projector. It really wasn't really optimized from the factory. It required something called a shield drop mod, which became popular. To answer anybody's question, you're not going to need to do anything like that on the new unit. Let's call it optimized from the factory. You're not going to need to take it apart and tune it unless you really want to get serious about it and get everything as perfect as you can. But all projectors are a little different. What you see on one projector is not necessarily what you're going to see on the other one. I would say that's the two biggest qualms about the 4.0: the position of the shield and the size and the shape of the cutoff step. Visually it's the same footprint. It's based off the same design. You could see it pretty much looks like the same projector. The thing is, almost every part of it has been changed up. So it's going to share the same bolt pattern. So if you're asking about the retro quick hits or retrofit brackets or size, you got the 4.0 in your headlights, you can put the 5.0 in, vice versa. So same overall size, same overall footprint. Still got the threaded shaft on the back of it. There's not too many changes, but each area has been changed very slightly to give some improvement to the beam pattern, to the usability of the projector, to the installation of the projector. And that's all things that we're going to go over in the video. You could see the new projector actually comes with Torx screws holding it down, the front half of it, and you can see the 4.0 had Phillips head screws. Not a huge change, but I would say Torx is probably a little bit better removing the screws. But we're going to put this 4.0 to the side. We're going to talk a little bit about the 5.0 now and what differentiates it from other units on the market, what differentiates it from the previous projector. So back to that coating, the AR coating, anti-reflective, it actually increases optical efficiency by reducing the amount of reflections and how the light comes out of the projector. And it does make a difference in performance. We tested this projector with a clear lens, and the intensity went down on the wall using our Lux meter. So it is something to consider. It's not just a gimmick. It's not just something that looks cool. It does actually perform better with this coated lens. We were calling it a tint before, but I think coating is the proper term for it. And the one thing about the coating, which we'll show you in the video, it does make the output a little bit warmer, and we'll show you how that's affected. So they're back to what's called a straight shield. A lot of people took what I said a little bit differently in the comments on Instagram and Facebook. The straight shield meaning it still does have a step, but there is no curve to the shield. So you can see it's a nice straight shield left to right. I mean, curved shields are popular and they do provide kind of like a slither of light to the, to the extreme sides of the projector, but they don't do an amazing job of, providing like the light at a thicker band. So you're going to see that this unit's, it's really nice, the output. It really helps, left to right visibility. Right under the cutoff, there's actually a nice band of light. So we're going to show you that in the video later. Same front. It's got a 5 on the side. No change there. So lens has been changed. Shield has been changed. The shield assembly is a little bit different. And back to the, the back of the projector. The bowl is different on the projector. It's not, I think they're referring to the Morimoto Rising Sun, reference. I'm not quite sure there, but this is probably just visual. I don't think that has anything to do with performance. The changes are inside the bowl, which we're not going to get into now because I don't think with naked eye, you're going to be able to see the differences of the bowl and the optics and how the light is, reflected through that unit. But there is big changes in the bowl and it's all working together. On the back, it's going to come from the factory with the new holders, so you don't have to, purchase these separately. It's going to come with a blue anodized lock ring, which actually has a special tool. It's going to use a 10mm nut on the back of it. You're going to put it back on. If you're a builder, it's good to have these in stock and to use it. If you're just a hobbyist or doing it for the first time, you probably don't need to purchase that tool, but it is good to have. Otherwise, you can just use good pliers and tighten it down just like you normally would. But this is really nice. Everything is smooth. It's a good unit overall. Same solenoid plugs. Same 9006. Connector on the back there, same location for the, the solenoid wiring. Once again, same overall footprint, but everything's been slightly improved in all areas of the projector, I would say. I don't think there's anybody that is not going to appreciate the changes that the 5.0 brings. So once again, you can see that coating. It's, if you face the light towards it, it's going to give you a that kind of a cooler effect, but otherwise, I think it can go pretty much under the radar. We're gonna fire the 4.0 up for you, fire up the 5.0. We've got the brand new Morimoto ballasts. We're gonna let everything warm up for about a minute. Brand new CBIs in both of these. There's such a big change with the performance of the 5.0 that, it's gonna be a huge improvement. So the point is just to show you the differences in the beam pattern and show you how it all translates to, real world driving. So we're going to start with the 5.0 first. We'll do them together in a little bit. Once again, sloped cutoff shield there. So the height is the same on the cutoff shield as the 4.0, which people were complaining about. However, it's a gradual change, meaning it goes from left to right at a good angle, and it's a long angle. It might be tall, but it's not abrupt like the 4.0. Can we see the 4.0 together with it together? So you can see the 4.0. You spread them out a little bit. 4.0, on top of each other. The 4.0 is, it kind of goes straight up. That's on the bottom. The 5.0 is on the top. And you can see it's more of a gradual change. So, we're about 33 feet away from the wall. This does multiply in the distance, and people are getting upset because it's such a tall height on the 4.0 that, sometimes you can be blinding people when you're behind them, depending on how your lights are aimed. I do think that's all going to be taken care of with the way that the cutoff shield has been designed, and it kind of mimics the RX 350, which everybody raves about. So I'm surprised to hear any kind of negative feedback. I think it's a preferable, cutoff shield, style, and I think people will really like it once they are able to use it. But this 4.0 has not been modified. Both these projectors are just out of the box, and you can see that the color of the 5.0 up top is a little bit warmer, and they both have the same ballast, same bulb powering them up. And that's the effect of the blue tinted lens, or blue coated lens, sorry. I want to call it a tint because I don't believe it's exactly tint, but you can see when you're kind of above it, you can see a little bit of blue reflection compared to the clear lens on the left, which is the 4.0 and the 5.0 on the right, but it's not super obvious. And you can see the color of the light is a little bit warmer on the right beam versus the left beam. The left beam is the 4.0, 5.0 on the right. So it changes the way that the light passes through that lens, makes it brighter, but also makes it a little bit warmer. And warmer is better for your eyes when you're in bad weather, snow, anything. It does help. So color isn't everything. If you want that pure white look, you might be looking at Osram CBBs or a high-end 6,000 Kelvin bulb. So let's analyze the 4.0 Lux. Let's take a reading real quick. So we're going to do in the same position. Before we were kind of trying to give the 3.0 and 4.0 an advantage, just to see the brightest possible hotspot. So this 4.0 is hitting about, let's say 370 lux on our wall. And let's get a 5.0 reading. These have been warmed up at the same period of time. And you could see the 5.0 is hitting about 540 lux, let's say, hit 550. So huge improvement right out of the box. And once again, you're not going to be tinkering with this one. It's good how it is. And can we see it in high beam mode now? So this is the 5.0 high beam mode. You can see it's got a really, really intense beam, hotspot right in the center, which is great for distance. But you can see the bands from left to right. It does carry the light to the sides, which gives you a really usable beam pattern and a really good intensity from side to side. So you can see those bands right on the left, and that'll fall right under the cutoff. So lower the shield real quick. So you can see right where the shield rises, the hotspot's actually in the proper spot versus in the 4.0, it was kind of really high. So slowly, exactly. So you can see the positioning is definitely improved on the 5.0 versus the 4.0. Let's see the 4.0 in contrast. So the 4.0 did reserve some of the light higher up, and as you open up the shield, you can see the hotspot intensity is actually much, much, much higher, and people would report, they're kind of lighting up the trees, and it was far from ideal. And you don't see those bands of light coming to the left and right in high beam mode. So I think overall, not only distance in high beam, positioning of high beam, and just overall left and right in high beam mode is improved as well on the 5.0. And this is the step cutoff. You can see it's pretty abrupt, it's pretty tall, and the difference is with the 5.0. Let's see them together again. Just kind of perfect. So you can see the heights are the same, but the slope and the way that it changes over is much more gradual. Actually, the heights are maybe not as tall on the 5.0. I was wrong. They're very similar, but if they are exactly the same, maybe a little bit shorter overall height on the 5.0, you can see the change is much more gradual. And I think that's going to make a big difference in the way people are able to use the projector. And this has been a great step up to kind of the OEM plus output, let's say. But I think that about wraps up the review on the 5.0 projectors. If you guys have any questions, email us, leave a comment here in the video. We'd love to talk a little bit more about what's new and what's been improved. And if anything is confusing, just let us know. We'll be happy to discuss anything with you. Thanks again. Follow us, subscribe to us. We look forward to hearing from you.